right, here we go. Hey, we are back again from the Ashes We Rise Black Phoenix podcast. The MC and TR coming to you on Labor Day to hang out with y'all for a minute. What's good, TR?
Hey, nothing much. Hope everyone had a good Labor Day weekend, and then also this is officially yesterday was the last Sunday before football starts, so can't wait for that to get going.
You mean the real football, TR? Because college is already popping off.
Yeah, real football. I mean, it's going to be a tough week for if you're a Cowboys fan. They lucky we didn't have time to add that to the list today because got a lot of smoke for the Cowgirls out there.
Yeah, they know Jerry Jones is a problem, but what are you gonna do? He gonna
Yeah,
do what he do.
nice. Jerry Jones, man, he keeping. I mean, it's difficult to worry about three teams in your division, but we only got to worry about one team. That's always a good thing.
And that being said, TR, I want Jerry Jones to live forever.
Hey, for real. I hope they figure out how to take his consciousness and put it in a robot or something so he can run that team to perpetuity.
Yeah, when you look at all the coaches and players he's run off, it's yeah. Anyway, I hate the Cowboys if you can't tell.
Yeah. Well, definitely deserved. So, all right, we're gonna get the show started, and we're gonna talk about liberal women. So, let's get this kicked off.
Right, here we go. Screen share. Let me make this full screen. All right, let's do it.
Gavin Newsom is a snake oil salesman. We all know that. He's a version of American Psycho. He looks the part, he acts the part. Don't forget, we're a bunch of guys talking politics, talking current events, talking social issues. What we don't have on this stage right now on this podcast are females, are women. And there's a story here about the political divide between young men and young women. We use as an example. Young men, if you look at the stat, I don't know if you can show this, Rob, they're like men are moving more to the right and women are moving more to the left. Men are more conservative, women are more progressive. Not really. Men are actually just straight up in the middle. Rob, do you have that?
Yep. Give me one.
Women have gone off the deep end politically. So we tend to think of, since Trump and since what's going on here, men have become way more conservative. That one right there. Right here, if you see the zero, that is the bottom line. This is young men in America.
Let me pause it for a minute, TR, and explain this. So when he's talking about the zero, those are your moderates. So if you score as a zero in this study, you were considered a moderate. And obviously, you got your liberal and your conservative as you go up and down. So I'm just setting that for context for the audience.
So if you're above zero, that means you're a little bit more liberal. If you're below zero, you're a little more conservative. Men are basically at the zero line. They're not too liberal, they're not too conservative. That's the green line men. Women are off the deep end progressive. So what we're creating in this country since basically 2000 are angry, liberal, single, lonely, depressed feminists. Not my opinion. Facts don't care about your feelings. Numbers.
TR, are you surprised by any of this? What are your thoughts?
As much as they're talking about the women, what the fuck happened to the men? Like, how are you scoring a zero on middle of the road? Since when did it become okay for men to be, hey, you know what, middle of the road? I don't care which things go. Which is why we have some of the problems we have today, because the men refuse to take a stance or they felt guilty. So we've been seeing the liberal women go off the charts for the last couple of years, or really since Trump got elected. They've been wilding the fuck out. Well, honestly, if you want to go really far back, since Me Too. So it's like they never stopped with Me Too. And so when Trump got put into office or elected, they really went off the deep end. And then we get to the Biden, and then now Trump's back in the office again. Now liberal women are going they're going off the charts again. They're going crazy. They're showing up to all of the No King's Day and doing all the BLM and going out there for the ICE protests and everything. They're doing all that crazy shit. And I do see a couple soy boy men out there though, but it'd be mainly the women that be out there acting like men. And they don't do shit to get pepper sprayed. They're not the ones getting arrested. I do see more men getting arrested doing dumbass shit at the Tesla bombings. But when it comes to them pushing their their political ideals on everybody or protesting. Yeah, it's no wonder why we see a bunch of liberal white women. I don't know if I put that in there. Yeah, I just put women, but it's really liberal white women going off the charts. You got black liberal women, but liberal white women, they're on a whole nother stratosphere.
Yeah, so there's things about this chart that surprised me, and then there's things that did not surprise me. So I'll start with the what didn't surprise me. Men have pretty much been consistent politically and morally. I think that women started to deviate so far to the left that it gave men the appearance that they were more conservative. But men have always questioned more. They've always kind of just kicked back and said, okay, who's appealing to me and what I stand for? I'm not going to get emotionally invested in this stuff. I'm going to vote for what makes the most sense. So I wasn't surprised that men were trending closer to a zero. But TR, what did surprise me, I thought the gender political divide was just going to be a black thing. But what we're seeing here, this is an everybody thing. And I like what you said earlier. You mentioned liberal white women, right? Liberal white women put more batteries in more people's backs than any other group of people.
Fact.
I
LGBT, I forgot that.
I would argue that every ideology that a liberal black woman has right now came from a liberal white woman.
Hundred percent.
We talked about it with Margaret Sanger and Susan B. Anthony and people like that who they don't want to admit that they're getting inspiration from, right? But this doesn't surprise me at all, and it also, Tr, it illustrates why the traditional family is cooked right now. You can't build a family with somebody when you have these divides like this. If y'all can't agree on what a man and a woman is and what discipline and punishment and how the law should be, the family is cooked. Tr, you know, I'm the marriage bro on here. You the free agent lifestyle. But anyway, this was a very interesting chart and a very interesting conversation. And shout out to PBD podcast for bringing this up because we talked about this before.
Yeah. And again, and I go back to like, it's so weird that men are trending like towards zero, where they're not picking a side, just middle of the road. But in this political climate, you can't do that. I saw a story today where San Francisco, and they already do a lot of wild shit already, but they
Facts.
created a trans city. So the city of San Francisco recognized, well, really just a district like the China district and the red light district. I don't know what they call them. What else they got down there? But it's some district called Tenderloin, which is a pause. That that's what this is what they're calling the trans district. And so that's only the start for a lot of stuff like that, though, because people like with men, we don't want to like get into a situation where we're arguing or ruffling in feathers. But the problem is that when you stand back and you don't do anything, you just in the shadows until it becomes a problem. It is gone beyond that. That's why we have the trans or the drag storybook. That's why we have men and women's sports, because a lot of men stood by and was like, "Hey, it's not that big a deal. It won't be a big problem." And now, thank God Trump got into the office and he made the NCAA recognize men and women for the two genders or two sexes, and he was able to do something. But a lot of these men would have stood by and be like, "Well, if this is what they want, this is what they want to do, then that's what we'll allow to happen." So I'm more concerned that there's no competing. Like, it's one thing if they're in the middle of the road, but they should at least, at the very least, the last couple of years, they should have been trending toward being conservative, because everything that the liberals put out there, Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, all of them put out anti men rhetoric, as leading all the way up to the election, talking about go against your husband, go against your family. They talked about like baby deletion. They've talked about like why it's important why women need to be pushed ahead. They talk about all those things. And so that should have been enough information for a lot of men to say, like, hey, this is not the party for me. This is not the party that's looking out for my son, especially if your son is white, is a white male. Like that, those are the people that they continually use to, push whatever rhetoric or agenda that they have. They use that like, hey, anti-white male hate to make sure they put themselves in office, not knowing damn well they have white sons. So are you going to have to talk with your white son about what it means to be a white male in this world? And then after that, it's black men. And black men, for some reason, people want to talk about like, black people are moving ahead. No, black women are getting pushed ahead. Well, before, after Trump got in office, that kind of stopped with all the, DEI services and wokeness. But for the most part, it was really just black women. Black men weren't even reaping the rewards of DEI.
Yeah, you said a lot there. The obvious thing here, we know that men of all colors have left the Dems. They're either sliding to the middle or they're sliding to the right. I think there was a study that was just released. I'm going to try to find it a little bit later, but the Gen Z men are starting to become more conservative too. But when you look at these men who, a lot of this, the soy boys, you talked about them earlier. A lot of men will just accept what a woman tells them just to keep the peace or because they just want some box. They will
Right.
completely throw out their morals and their integrity just to be in the presence of the
Shit, no,
woman.
they'll doom an entire community just for box.
Yeah, and in my opinion, that makes you not a man. I can't rock with that. I did find a study, and it lists the top reasons, and I'm going to dive into this a little bit while we're talking before I share, because I don't know if I trust the source. But we have seen in other places that right now the Dems have isolated essentially everybody but the LGBT community and black women and the liberal white women. Everybody else they've isolated, and they're losing those numbers in every single category. Now, ironically, TR, you notice he started that video off by calling our California governor right now a snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that was, I didn't do that on purpose, but it was so ironic that that got slid in there because I think he's trying to shift to win some of that demographic back and people can see through it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they're not doing the work. They thought the podcast space was going to be a joke, and that was a huge reason why Trump won. They didn't appeal to anything that men asked for. Their main talking point was the border. And when we find out that even the Latino community is split on that, and baby deletion, which quite frankly, half the
Never an
women
issue.
don't even care about. Like these are like, how are you going to win with stuff like this? And I think a lot of men tend to take more logical responses, and they think this too, and it just doesn't make sense. I'll take it as far as to say I don't know how any heterosexual man feels like he's being considered in the Democratic Party right now. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. It's Look, I know a lot of people, especially on YouTube and some of these other spaces, talking about repealing the 19th Amendment. That's the 19th Amendment ain't the problem. It's some of these fucking simps out here, some of these beta men that don't want to take a stance. They, don't want to like piss people off. And we've seen, I mean, it's so crazy, like, because we'll see men throw their lives away to save women, but they don't got nothing to say when it comes to like men showing up in women's sports. Like they all had a problem with it, but they didn't start saying anything until it was like the cool thing to say something, or perhaps they say things in certain spaces. So yeah, there's a lot of unfortunately, if we can't have men really show up to be consistent when it comes to stuff like this, then what's going to happen when Trump leaves office? Because I know JD, he can definitely got that dog in him, but he's not Trump. So I hope he can go another level between now and until the next election, and continue to motivate men, especially when it's for in their best interest to vote conservative. So it'll be interesting to see, to say the least.
I got a perfect example of this, TR. So I obviously I work with a lot of different groups of people. I have a coworker who's a very liberal white woman, and we were talking politics over lunch one day. We were talking about the baby deletion thing, and I kind of gave her the same statistics. Most people use it as a form of birth control, blah blah blah. I brought up the Panama Canal, and she was not interested in that at all. And I said, okay, let me tell you like this. You know that 40% of most of the products that come into the United States come into the Panama Canal. You know that, right? Like that's going to affect like your Sheen and your
Right.
Amazon, like stuff like that. Like, but she was so stuck on baby deletion that they tend not to think about macroeconomic things and geopolitics and military stuff. It's like it's crazy, man. It's like night and day when when you sit down with a man and a woman and you talk politics. And at some point, that was bound to impact the family. one group is being led by emotional issues, and another group is like, okay, let me sit back and look at every single issue and see how it works.
Yeah, and I'll go this far too. So I know most people can kind of figure out where we align on the political side, though. But there's a lot of chameleons, even on the conservative space, where you have a lot of women. They will say the right things, they will, post the right things on their social medias, and it's easy to say like, "Hey, you're against some of the crazy shit," but honestly, I feel like a lot of them are probably still liberal women. They just put on the mask that they're conservative because at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, they're gonna push for some of the same rights that some of these other women are doing. And so it's hard for me to even like trust that a woman has the best interest of her family as well as her community long term. They can do it for maybe a couple years, but they can't do it long term. So this has been you can see some of the women in these spaces that pretend to be conservative, but just look through their posts, look their old posts, see how they react to like people calling them out, and you'll see that some of these women are kind of liberal to say the least. They don't get on board with the whole baby deletions, but when it comes to all the other bullshit, all the other rights that women get, they do subscribe to that.
Yeah, and for the record, me and Ti, we've talked about conservative women, especially conservative black women. There's an uprising in them, but the problem is they get it the worst. So we talked about all that before too. But there are conservative black women who are gaining traction, and they're kind of standing up to some of this stuff and saying it doesn't make sense. But it's so bad right now with this gender divide, Tr, that you can make a statement that women need men, and somehow that's a problematic statement.
Right.
Like, so this political stuff is rolling over into the families. And honestly, we keeping it 100 on this podcast, right? Look no further than the communities we grew up in. How many of us were raised by single mothers, and what are the results of that? You
Right.
have to hold leadership accountable. You can't blame other people when you are the one in leadership. And that's what I struggle to get a lot of women to understand that. You've been the head of the household for so long. Now it's time to look at, okay, what were the results of your leadership? Because the good leader knows when to say, okay, I messed up and let me switch up my strategy. Has the strategy been switched up? I don't think it has.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it'll continue like this, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in 2028. I will say for the Democrats, they do have a bigger issue because they're losing men, and then also they're getting women that are very emotional and violent, and to some degree, like not violent that they're punching people, but they get a lot of people riled up. So again, like I said, I've seen more men get arrested, but I'm pretty sure they were getting a battery put in their back. And it's like, these are the men, you ain't bailing these. I mean, women will bail out men, but they ain't bailing out these soy boys. I tell you that much.
Yeah, and for the record, I use the black community as a reference point. The number of single white mothers is on the rise in the United States too, Tr. So don't think it's going to just be contained in the black community. This is becoming a Western issue now, and I suggest we work on this right now.
Honestly, MC, it's gone. It's too late. There's no in order for them to kind of fix this problem, like we got first of all, we got to get politically on the same side. So that's not happening. Not for unless something drastic happens, and then you got to get on line like why people should like go back to families, and that's not happening either until they fix the courts. Most men, there's enough information out there for most men to understand that getting married, especially like after 30 or 35, I guess, it's just not always the best option for you financially, because people always talk about like, well, what do you need a prenup for? Well, most men make the most wealth going to their late 30s up until their 50s. So if they do get married in that time period, they're risking significant risk from the woman for whatever reason, or even child support. And we see with a lot of players, as soon as they retire, they get blown up on child. I mean, shit. The Dolphins dude, Tyreek Hill, he's going through it. And he got to pay his baby mom, his ex wife. She's about to get a bag. a fucking bag, all because he wanted to knock up multiple women, no discipline, and it's like, hey, fine. But part of the women, there's no need because they see some of these celebs, and most men don't have to worry about that. But you still have to worry about losing your kid. Like that's the one thing that people never like. They always look at the money. You're losing your kid. Your kid has to live out a damn backpack, which we
Yeah,
have a story later on about that too.
indeed. But this, yeah, we in some interesting times right now, man. Just fellas, stay firm on your beliefs, man. Don't compromise yourself.
Yeah, facts. All right. So we are gonna jump to Ari Spears, and Ari Spears is a funny dude. He trends every now and then, but this one is kind of under the radars. Let me get this queued up here so we can get our laugh on. Whoops, there we go.
But I gotta admit,
Hold on.
listen, man, I'm not a Trump supporter, never have been, never will be. But I gotta admit, this motherfucker is somewhat charismatic. Oh, shut up, we know. Listen, bitch, I know you're a fucking Trump supporter because you won't shut the fuck up. But if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna put my in your mouth.
She doesn't look like she takes that Johnson like that, but
Yeah, I bet she's a lot of fun at parties.
yeah.
Fuck me, I wish you would. That way I got a reason to get rid of this last $2 in my wallet.
Oh man.
I bet you your pussy tastes like cold French fries. You don't want to fuck with me. I'm like Denzel in Training Day. I'm surgical with this bitch. Matter of fact, I want to talk to all the black people. I want to talk to the niggas in here for a second.
She don't get that joke.
No. She don't have to be thrown out. She don't have to be thrown out. But here's where you fuck it up. I love you. Well, then if you love me, suck my...
Hell no. Are you kidding me? This is her husband right here.
Yeah, he looks terrible. This reflects him.
Yeah.
Brando just posted exactly what me and you were probably both thinking. Shout out to Brando.
Yeah.
Brando been one of the day ones.
Hey, for real.
If I take a lady to a comedy show and she starts acting, you're absolutely right. She gonna get left there by herself to deal with it herself. You ain't about to embarrass me because I gotta clean up the mess you made. You being masculine as hell right now, getting in your feelings because you try to go back and forth with a comedian, which was a dumb idea in the first place. You're not gonna win with a comedian. You're not.
I gotta make sure I screen capture this. But and so the funny thing is at the beginning when he was like, I mean, he said his bit and he let it slide. He let two boos slide before he responded to her. And he was going to say something. He said he was a charismatic, and then I don't know what he was going to say to that. He said he didn't like him, but he was going to say something like, you know, something endearing. And then she just kept going with it. She had to keep going with it. And so, and he's telling your wife, he's telling the woman you go to bed with every night that he's gonna put his Johnson in her mouth, and she's still talking shit. Like, oh man, I see. Again, everyone wants to talk about the women not, you know, being active, and so if he's with her, I'm assuming they're both conservative, but there's a lot of soy boy conservatives out there too. Let's not act like because you're conservative, you got enough testosterone. This is clearly one of those situations. He's just laughing like, "Oh my God, honey, this is crazy." Like, no, motherfucker, get your bitch in line, respectfully.
No, there ain't nothing respectfully about that. That's exactly what she's acting like. And I don't even like to call ladies out of their names. But check this out, TR. Ari Spears just did what most men do. Even if we don't like something, we realize that it's nuanced. Ari Spears has been a hardcore Democrat forever. He's one of those Obama can do no wrong types, right? But he admitted something positive about Trump, and that's the reaction that he got, right?
Yeah.
Whether you like him or not, some of the things that he's done, I just posted proof because, you know, we like to substantiate what we say. Tariffs. The U.S. Treasury just reported just last month, TR, just last month alone, $29 billion in additional revenue from tariffs. That's why when he started talking all this tariff talk, it wasn't a big deal to me because we are the largest consumers in the world and people want to do business with us.
Yeah.
We have the most disposable income. So that means we got the money and you're going to do business with us and you're going to do it fairly or we'll end a relationship with you. And everybody knows that. But everybody's freaking out about these tariffs. Look, there's nuances to everything. There's no president that was fully like 100% of the time.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat Trump. Straight up.
Shut the fuck up. Listen, no, listen.
See, that tells me anybody could walk up and take his bitch from him. He ain't gonna do shit. He's just gonna laugh about it. Fuck
That
that.
tells me that he's got in multiple fights with multiple dudes because of the words that came out of her mouth. And he's had to go in and clean up some of the messes that she made.
I don't, yeah.
I don't want them to be thrown out because trust me, here's what I'm saying. Here's where you fucking up. You're turning this into a political thing when this is a comedy show.
Right.
This is a comedy show. You all in your feelings over Trump, and this is a fucking comedy show.
Look at him. Honey, please calm down. And please give me my testicles back.
Oh my God. I bet he got yelled at that night.
No, y'all. Not only did he get yelled at, she probably didn't even give him none. She put him on punishment.
Does she look like she get? Does she look like she gives him consistent punani every week?
She looks like the type of woman to use her vagina to manipulate her man into doing what she wants. That's what she looks like. Like she dangles it over him and say, well, if you do this, then maybe I'll consider doing this. Like that's the type of chick she looks like to me.
Right.
Where the fuck is Bill Cosby when you need him?
Oh, man.
I can see by the puss on your face you're taking this shit serious. Just laugh, motherfucker. No, chill. Let him be. I got this. Okay, everybody in this motherfucker love me, but they ain't acting like you. I gotta tell you something. And listen, here's the beauty of an American democracy. Whether you like the man or not, you all have the right to vote for whoever the fuck you want to vote for. So you did your thing.
Always gotta be a part of the show.
You guys' level of loyalty
Hey,
towards
pause
Trump
real
is
quick,
breathtaking.
TR. Because I'm misinterpreting this. She didn't start going off until he gave Trump a compliment about being charismatic. So that tells me that she's a liberal, not a conservative. He called her a Trump supporter when he was going off on her. She's a
Wait, are
liberal.
you sure?
Yeah. We're gonna run it back and play the tape when we go live with this. But she didn't start booing until he said Trump was charismatic.
No, I thought she was booing before that.
I think she started around that time. We have to put that under review.
It doesn't matter how dangerous his actions or how irresponsible his words. Y'all stand behind that motherfucker no matter what. You guys are like battered wives. As long as he comes home with a box of chocolates and an apology, you'll stay.
Oh, man. He wanna
I don't
laugh.
know.
He want to laugh so bad.
She's coming off like she's a Trump supporter.
Ah, bitch.
And that's the worst thing you can do is leave. Especially when he invited you to stay.
Every woman in here should go out here and beat the shit out of them right now.
All right, spirits. Here, let me go back.
Never will be. But I gotta admit,
Hold on.
and listen, man, I'm not a Trump supporter, never have been, never will be. But I gotta admit,
Yeah.
See? The
No.
booing started when he said, I gotta admit. So that tells me that he's about to give him a compliment.
No, I don't think so. I think she's a Trump supporter.
The booing did not start until he said, I gotta admit.
There were
That means he's setting up to say, when somebody says, hey, I like this, but I gotta admit, that means they're about to say something contradictory to the thing that they just initially said.
Ari Spears assumed that she was a Trump supporter, and that's how a lot of those jokes went. I think she is a Trump supporter.
I don't know. We're gonna have to agree to disagree. on
gotta
this
admit,
one. I think she's a little bit.
this motherfucker is somewhat charismatic. Oh, shut up.
See?
We know.
I don't understand. Then
Why
Ari Spears.
would she boo when he called Trump charismatic? If she was a Trump supporter, she would applaud that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's a liberal.
Well,
That's a liberal Karen with a
that
battery in
actually
her back.
so that part of it makes sense though. I just know why Ari Spears kept thinking that she was a Trump supporter, and then when he gets to that part where, you know, as long as he
comes home with a box of chocolates and an apology.
he's talking about Trump, and he's calling her a battered wife for Trump.
I think Aries misinterpreted where she stands. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, well yeah. So
It
Ari
was
got
still
it wrong.
funny though. It was still funny.
Yeah, then this all makes sense.
Like she said no. Like I don't even want you to say anything positive about him. A lot of people do that.
You know
It's
what?
okay. It's okay to dislike somebody and admit when they do something right. It happens all the time.
You know what? I gotta take that back, because if this is to be believed, which it was like, you're supposed to be with a conservative. I mean, I assume they were both conservative. She was supporting Trump, but if he's acting like this makes a lot of sense. Why I expect a lot of liberal men would, you know, be okay with another man telling your wife he's gonna put his Johnson in her mouth. But this actually makes sense. Yeah, I stand corrected. So if you watch this long enough, I'm amending my original position on this. Yeah, Ari Spears misinterpreted this one, but yeah, that's how I got
Still
labeled.
hilarious though. Still hilarious though. You still made a Karen crash out, so it was worth it.
I mean, this is the other thing too. So even though Ari Spears went off I mean, as he should, is a heckler. Um, Man, if somebody starts talking to your wife, I feel like you only got like a couple options. Either you got to get up and leave because she ain't calming down. This woman, hold on, he's trying to console her so he can get a little piece of action later that night. He ain't getting no pussy, and he is trying to. What is this motherfucker? Look at that. The Man Show dude, Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, Jimmy
Speaking
Kimmel
of
looking ass
chameleons,
motherfucker.
that dude is a hell of a chameleon. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so this actually makes yeah. I mean, that is a good call. Yeah, this makes way more sense now. The way this guy is acting, and then the way she's crashing out, though, because yeah, see, this is why they've lost a lot of men. Because if you don't go all the way to the left, to the extreme left, you say anything that's remotely endearing to Trump, they crash out, they glitch up. This actually makes a lot more sense now that you pointed that out, though, because I thought because Ari Spears was kept calling her a Trump supporter, but she's really not a Trump supporter, which probably pisses her off a lot that she's getting labeled as a Trump supporter and she really wasn't.
And this is why I don't you can't trust emotional people to lead, and most women are emotional.
Yeah, facts.
They just are. Look, I can't stand Kamala Harris. I think that she was not qualified. I think that they babied her and they hid a lot of stuff about her, especially in interviews. However, see, I just did it. But when she was Attorney General in California, she went after the banks in California with their high interest rates. Like that's a positive thing that she did.
Yeah, she also put an innocent black man behind her.
We talked about all of her negatives with the black incarcerations and stuff. Shout out to Jamal Truelove, who's still out here cooking, getting his payback. But I can look at somebody that I don't like and call out something good that they did, and I've never understood why people can't do that. It's like, no, it's either this or it's that. Most things are gray, TR, not black and white.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny thing. You know, this all takes place in real time, and if he had just got his wife in line, like this has got to be a miserable. Marriage bros. Apparently, if you got a liberal household, your wife. I'm just assuming your wife runs that goddamn household because he can't even get this Millie Mouth chick. Shout out to CGA. He can't get this Millie Mouth wife in line, and she's embarrassing the fuck out of him. They're lucky this hasn't gone viral. Like we've seen a lot of people crash out, and it's funny. Ari Spears, the funny thing. So years ago, the company I used to work at had had everyone go out to a comedy club for team bonding or whatever the fuck it was, and Ari Spears was performing. He actually crashed out. It was. People were heckling him. This was at one of those smaller clubs, and comedy clubs, and it was kind of fucked up that people were heckling him, and I thought people would get thrown out. But Ari Spears, he ain't playing that shit no more. Again, this was almost 10 years ago, over 10 years. He ain't playing this shit anymore. He ain't about to, let people just heckle him. And she just kept saying boo. So that really is. I'm glad you corrected that though, because I'm sure a lot of people in the comments would have corrected that shit too. They're like, hey, she's talking about she's a liberal.
Yeah, and this is it never fails, TR. Every time I go to a damn comedy show, there's always somebody like that sitting near us. It never fails. Like you need to go and study who you're going to see. Ari Spears does a lot of crowd work in his comedy. He tells his jokes, and then at the end of the show, he starts talking to people. And if somebody says or does something stupid, he's going to work the crowd. That's called crowd work and stand
Yeah.
up. So you got to know what you're getting yourself into. I've seen this. I've seen Corey Holcomb in a relationship
Yeah.
in the middle of a show. He told the dude, "Your girl is trash. She ain't ish, and she gonna
See,
leave you for somebody else."
you
And
you
she literally left him right in the middle of the show because he was laughing at the jokes.
Yeah, see, the problem is you got to decide which way you want to go. Corey Holcomb, he getting those jokes off, but you won't be getting off with your girl. So pick, pick,
Or you could get
pick
you a
your
girl who got a
problems.
sense of humor, which is, I mean, you might find one. There's some that exist, but most of them they can't take the type of jokes that an Ari Spears or Corey Holcomb is throwing out. Ironically, those are two people that can't stand each other. I just mentioned in the same sentence too.
Oh yeah, he does. He does have a problem with. I mean, they do got some beef. There's bad
Yeah,
blood out there.
it's some years worth of beef.
Yeah. So yeah, men, especially soy boy men, be sure to not take your girl to see a comedian because they won't. As soon as you say something about Trump, unless it's like shitting on Trump, they're gonna want to try to be part of the show. She had one two fucking margaritas and thought she was bigger than the program and got shut down.
And also, man, if you are with a woman who likes to argue and fight with men, she's going to get you hurt. She's not going to get herself hurt because as soon as that energy is returned to her, she's going to start acting feminine again. But what's going to happen is she's going to get you hurt because we showed this in a previous video at a NFL game. White chick with her guy was messing with the black dude. The black dude took his anger out on the boyfriend. He didn't even hit the girl. He went straight for the boyfriend because he should have checked the situation.
Yeah.
Masculine women will get you hurt, fellas. Stay away.
Yeah, they don't stay away because they chicken masculine.
They
They
really
don't
do.
stay away.
Because
So
masculine chicks have like a lot of babies running around out here.
facts. All right. You know what? We're gonna go to another crash out. Brittany Renner. She is a favorite on the YouTube Spaces. So this is Brittany Renner crashing out on a child custody swap. Unfortunately, the shit goes viral. They recorded for some reason. And I mean, MC, I'm sure you have some friends that could probably tell some stories. But when it comes to like these child custody swaps, though, especially when they're recording, it's always a setup. They want you to crash out. They want you to have some type of incident. The kid always loses in those situations when the mom and dad can't get along. And it's generally, people, when it comes to like swaps, it's generally the woman crashing out. Maybe she doesn't want to give the kid up, or maybe she still has feelings for the ex, as well as a new woman. Which I think PJ Washington, didn't he get married to a new chick, a new Instagram chick? Because he loves his Instagram baddies.
I'm not sure about that, but that doesn't surprise me. There's a reason why Kevin Samuel said athletes are not high value men, and a lot of it is that.
Yeah. Well, Brittany Renner wrote a book, or not wrote a book. Wait, did she write a book about?
She spoke to the players at Jackson State and she gave them the game on how these women start tracking these young men at age 14 and they know how much money they're going to make by the time they become an adult based on their basketball and football performances. She gave them the game. But
Yeah.
a lot of these people they still fall for women like this.
Yeah, well, and they're gonna keep falling for him. I mean, like before I play this video, though, like we see a lot of athletes that just, as soon as they get that money, as soon as they get that bag, they start dating these women. Even with like a Larsa Pippen, I mean, her name is connected to another pro athlete, and I don't understand why a lot of, I mean, it's primarily black men that are falling for Larsa Pippen. I mean, she must be like a goddamn, what do you call those? A succubus or some shit. Like, I don't know what she got, but these men, they keep falling for it. They'd be fucking 20 years her fucking senior, or their senior with her, and they still keep going her. I was like, there's only so much a 40, 50-year-old Punani can actually do for you. So why would you even like? I mean, she almost got married to what's his face, Jeffrey, Michael Jordan kid.
Yeah, yeah.
Like this is it wasn't Jeffrey, I forget his name, but that's Michael Jordan's middle name. But this is crazy that they still fall for this, and it's like you've seen this is like this won't be the last, obviously, but there's multiple instances of where these athletes get into with their kids, their baby mama, and they can stand up. Like as soon as he lays a finger on her, he's suspended. That's why she does this stuff to get this guy in trouble, and she'll never go to jail. And I'm sure some simp is lining up when she was just with Kevin Gates to wipe this bitch out.
Yeah, whenever a woman is rolling with the camera, it's a setup. Period. She's trying to catch you out of your character.
Facts. All right, let's get going.
Okay, hold on, pause. This is what we're not doing. So every time that he does this, I'm gonna record this. Because that's not okay.
PJ should have walked off.
No, the thing is, this is the third time he's done it. This is the third time he's done it. He doesn't want to go with you. So actually show up. Actually show up and do something then with him. Because he does this every time.
Building the case.
No, it's
what
not.
she's doing.
No, it's not.
Yep.
Because anybody babysitting. You gonna give him his bag and stuff?
That's terrible. 3 weeks in a row.
Fuck off. Look, and real quick, this is the other problem too. They get everyone wound up to, want to like create this fucking issue. PJ Money is probably paying for that house. Well, I don't think she got a lot of money from the child support, but a good portion of that money is probably paying for the house. And they got everyone in there trying to fucking run to Brittany Renner's side. Her kid is crying. Who gives a fuck? The kids cry all the fucking goddamn time. What's the big deal here?
That's the only sympathy I have in this video, honestly, TR, is that kid. Because he's the one that's ultimately going to suffer for this. But like I said, this was a setup from the rip. And she's trying to antagonize him. Notice how when he was standing at the door after the exchange, she asked for the diaper bag twice. She declined it. She waited until he was on his way out to the car to kind of rush out there, extend the video, and then give him the diaper bag. That tells me she's trying to catch him out of his element and build up a stronger
She's
case.
trying to generate some shit because now she ran all the way over there with so whoever's recording, probably her fucking mom, but she ran all the way over there to try to get in their face. It's like, you don't need to be over there. Back the fuck up.
Yeah.
So, and she's displaying this energy around their kid, so that kid's going to pick up off of that. So he's going to equate it whenever he's with his dad that he should not be acting like this. These are terrible. I mean, PJ Washington really messed up on this. Like Brittany Renner, there's enough smoke to go around with her, but PJ Washington, goddamn, you can't be knocking up IG baddies. I mean, you can, but you're going to pay for it.
This is sad, man.
Hey, it's up with me. Just know that it's up.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
I didn't stutter.
I didn't hear you say it again.
Suck my dick.
If you had one, maybe I would. Pussy ass
Hey, you
bitch.
wish I would.
Pussy ass. What the fuck you looking at? Get your bitch ass out my driveway, ho. Fuck you. You don't pay for shit either. $170,000 to your hoe, but $11,000 in your son's bank account.
That's what it's really mad about.
Okay, that's where this is coming from. Okay,
yeah, it's always about the money with these. It's always about the money with these women.
This is ridiculous. About the time. It's about the money.
It's always about the money. She's just mad because she ain't getting that money like other women. Like other women in his life are getting the money or the resources. That's what she's mad about.
This is wild.
Bank account for $170 for that
You don't
bitch.
got shit in your bank.
All right, see,
Now,
PJ, you already got
Walk
one
up, bro.
baby mama, and this is I'm pretty sure he's married. You can't be look, PJ, he'll handle all that shit. You just sit back, look pretty. Well, I think this might be an off day, but you just sit back, look pretty, because you've already won. You got the best situation. She would trade spots with her in a heartbeat. Everybody gotta watch her drive away. And also, here's the other thing too. PJ, why are you picking up your kid with that chick in the car? I mean, I know that's your wife though, but does your wife need to come along like that?
That definitely added to the fuel. But I'm always leery of the deadbeat dad conversation, TR, because it's often one sided.
Yeah.
We talk about CGA a lot, and CGA stands for Coach Greg Adams because people ask me what CGA stands for that listen to us. Coach Greg Adams was his ex tried to put him in the deadbeat dad category, but he came with receipts. He
Yeah.
put both of his kids in private school. He has pictures and pictures of being their coaches when they played sports and taking them on vacations. It got so intense. The son told the mom, "I want to go live with dad."
Yeah.
And the mom shut it down for a long time to the point where he had to go. And I know a lot of men dealing with this right now, by the way. The kids realize kids aren't stupid. At some point, they're going to figure out who the crazy parent
Yeah.
is. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's both. But, and I'm using his situation, and I'm only using his situation because he talks about it publicly.
Yeah, you talk about public, yeah.
His son wanted to live with him, and the ex did everything she could to shut it down. And I'm telling you, that happens to a lot of men who build stable homes and end up being better in the long run once they break up with you. The kids see that, and that's where they want to be.
Yeah. Also, one part that sometimes gets missed a little bit though with CGA, he spent about, I remember, I think he said $50,000 just to fight for custody of his kids, and that's all the lawyer fees, all the discussions, stuff with that. He spent a lot of money trying to, get his kids back, fight for his kids, and he won. And for the most part, well, I don't know if you can say he won because after $50,000 in years of court, that's like, can you even call it a win? I think it's just more of a push because the courts are always generally against the men. But yeah, it's a long battle, and for a lot of men, sometimes they don't even attempt to get into the battle. I know David Goggins is getting dragged for apparently being a deadbeat dad, and I haven't heard the story. But anytime somebody talks about somebody being a deadbeat dad, I got to hear both sides. I got to hear what David said. I got to hear what he said publicly about it. I don't just go off of because when I looked into the story, I saw a bunch of people commenting on him. I'm like, y'all couldn't wait to go after David Goggins? Like, holy shit. Unless he got receipts like that and he's had a conversation about it, because this is similar to Dr. Umar. His alleged kid went after him publicly, and everybody had all this smoke for Dr. Umar. Now, Dr. Umar has done a lot of crazy stuff, though, but I don't know if I can go as far as say he's a deadbeat dad, though, because based on what? We don't know what that conversation looks like. And it's so easy to have this level of energy for men, for fathers. So easy to call them a deadbeat dad, whether they're black or white. It's easy to drop that label on them. But when it comes to talking about deadbeat moms, we know they exist. People don't like having that uncomfortable conversation, and that's from men and women. It's like, so there are no deadbeat moms out there, or moms that have made raising the split household a living hell. Like, I got stories for days that we can't even go into right now, but it's people gotta, this is the judge should look at this and see that, hey, I'm going to award PJ full custody because you're off your meds.
Yeah. And here's the thing, because a big talking point that we hear from women is he didn't fight for the kids. And my counter to that is, and mind you, I can't relate to this. I'm with the person who has my child. But I know a lot of people fight these battles. But my question is, why did they even have to fight in the first place? Why was there a fight? Why are you putting up obstacles and barriers to try to prevent him from seeing his child? You thought he was good enough to skate inside of you with no protection. What's changed since then? The fact that you don't want to admit that you made a bad choice.
Mhm.
And regarding PJ and Brittany, I don't feel sorry for either one of them because Brittany's been telling us for years who she is. PJ, you had to have known that you had to. I talk about vetting and due diligence all the time. I mean, that's my career by day, but that's what men got to start doing. He knew who she was. He fell for the trap. And Brittany, I don't feel sorry for her because she appears to be a terrible person. I know she tried to convert to
Yes.
Muslim, and we talked about that previously.
She only did that for Kevin Gates, and they weren't even legally married. And then that dumbass actually gets divorced by his legally married wife. Like,
Yeah.
these fucking chicks will throw themselves at the absolute worst men when it comes to relationships. Because I don't know what his character is personally, but when it comes to relationships, I'm like, he was married. Like when I heard he was married, I was like, that makes zero sense. Why she would get involved with him, and she didn't care anything. See that Muslim act that went all out the window, and now we got a crash out from Brittany Renner on a kid custody exchange. This is probably court ordered, and she crashing the fuck out. And the judge can be like, "Look, kids cry all the time. It's just what it is." And all she's going to do is just, hey, whatever. Just make a scene and bring her fucking it might be her mom, whoever is recording. Bring her on the egg on the situation. But like I said, with PJ, you can't be having your chick get involved as well too. He's already shut it down, which is funny that he told his ex baby mama to suck his duck, but in front of his current chick.
Yeah, hit her with the SMD, and then she tried to say if you had one, like she had done that in the past. There was some reason why he was sticking around because once you break up with him, they trash you. Everything is terrible about you once they break up with you.
Yeah, but also you can't be telling your kid's mom to. I know the kid ain't gonna remember it, but shit.
No, trust me, he's going to remember that. Look,
well,
kids remember stuff. Like a child's memory is way more better than people. I know that was bad English. It's way better than what people think. Like if you are the type of parents that fight in front of your kids all the time, it's not good for them. They're going to remember, and they're going to grow up thinking that that's normal behavior when they get out into the world and start interacting with the opposite sex. So you are creating a culture of trash because you couldn't control your seed and you gave it to somebody who more than likely didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Son's bank account. $11,000.
Hold on, let me go back to this.
$11,000 in your son's bank account. $11,000 in your son's bank account, but $170 of that bill.
Why did she? You know what's funny? Why did she get mad about that? Like,
yeah, she was calm until that came up.
That makes me wonder about that whole situation, though. Like, I don't know. I mean, IG again, another IG chick, but it makes me wonder. Like, why did your chick crash out? She said all this terrible shit about your husband, and then as soon as she brings up the money, you crash out. Like, again, here, let me play it for the audience. Again, let's see. We all good. See, that tells me PJ might be walking on eggshells at home too. You think PJ winning at home too? I don't know. There's something off
piece
about
of
this.
Evidence that she's trying to antagonize him. TR, she's throwing strays now. It could have just been okay. It's one thing if you want to say he's a bad father and don't spend enough time. Yep, at least in that context, you're keeping it just between you and him as a problem. But now you're throwing strays at the new chick, and you're trying to get her, antagonize her, and turn her up too. This seems very calculated and manipulative. It really does.
But this, okay, so this could be a bad spot for PJ because if she crashes out, this is this one instance that we know about. If this is all it takes for her to crash out, this could be problematic. He might not want to bring her on these visits because there should be no reason why she should be crashing out. She's in the passenger seat. She got the best spot out of all her friends and all his exes right now. There's just no reason for her to crash out. If anything, she should have said bye. Yep, and I'll be doing all the stuff that you ain't doing. Like, she won. There's something amiss because his chick should not have crashed out like that. Not nowhere near. I know they were going back at each other a little bit earlier, but she was sitting calm and collected up until she said that money situation. So it's like, well, why are you worried? Why would you crash out over the money? That tells me there might be something. His chick might have like a short fuse.
Definitely. It seems like he has a type, TR.
Yeah. She's trying to fight her. See, PJ Washington, good luck. Good luck. You can't be having your baby mamas crashing out like this, trying to fight. This is nobody. First of all, nobody's definitely going to win over this. And then, secondly, this is your new chick. Your new chick shouldn't have to deal with this stuff, though. Could you imagine? I mean, a lot of these women will deal with it because they're in this spot, though. But it's like you got to fight now too. Like you got to fight.
I got a little gift for you. Click on the IG page of Mr. Washington's wife.
Hold on.
You know, we like to do the IG analysis.
You pulling up another man's wife, TR, or Nancy. I know I keep calling you TR. Hold on.
But I say all this to say, while TR is looking at that and sharing with the audience, it appears PJ has a type. He definitely has a type. But
so they got 3 kids, or he a step dummy?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. That was the first thing I knew you were going to call that out first, but I couldn't tell you.
Hold on, let me ask Mr. Internet. PJ.
The bottom line is, fellas, come on, man. We got to do better, man. We can't be giving our seeds to people that don't deserve it. Everybody wants something beautiful on their arm. Do a deeper dive on the other things, the non-tangibles. See how especially how does she act when she's angry? Because a lot of women lose it when they get mad. You got to see how she acts when she's mad. You got to see how she acts when the world tells her no. You got to see how she looks when she's not wearing wigs and makeup. Like you gotta see all of this stuff, man. You gotta see her natural element. But I say all this. I'm not even sleazing on his wife. I'm just saying it looks like he has a type because I see similarities. That's all I was trying to say.
I mean, he definitely got a type. Like he put his chick out here for us to look. So I'm gonna put that out there. Anyways, I'm gonna hold my comments. Here's PJ Washington's breakdown. So he has his son with Brittany Renner, 2021. All right, and then he has Preston with his now wife Alicia Chanel, and then Aiden, Alicia's son from a previous relationship, whom PJ co-parents. Man, and then PJ and Alicia's second kid. So PJ, his girl already had a kid going into the relationship. So y'all still saving these Instagram baddies out here. And PJ has 2 baby mamas and 2 kids, well, 3 kids altogether. And then he co-parent. Like, this ain't your man. I'm floored. Like this is what it's all about. There are plenty of women out there that don't even have fucking kids. And this is the one that you gravitate towards. Being like, hey, it's all on you. Do your thing.
It's tough, man. Like I said, my sympathy starts and ends with that child. Those other parties involved, I have no feelings for. No.
Yeah. I mean, good luck, PJ Washington. I hope you can get all worked out and doesn't blow up your family. But you can't have that chick around. Like, dude. Matter of fact, I'm glad you brought this up though, because hold on, let me go back to this. Hold on, wait a minute. Does that look like her?
I can't tell. But the quick search on Facebook, I was able to ascertain what the wife's name was, and that was the IG page.
Does that look like her? The one we just saw, does that look like her?
Are you saying that she looked like Brittany, or does that look like the IG page?
Does that look like the IG page? This is a whole costume.
A little bit. I mean, she's not dialed up for IG. She's in her natural element. There's always going to be differences in situations like that.
That's, to me, there's a big drop off there. So,
yeah.
Interesting. But hey, shout out to PJ Washington. I mean,
Good luck, dude. Hopefully, you show your son what a stable house at home looks like, because he
doubt
needs
it.
to see that. And I hope you do. I really do. I mean that sincerely.
Well, also, I wonder who the father of our other kid is. I wonder how that shit's going. Well, maybe he gave up his rights or some shit because we don't ever hear him crashing out.
Yeah, tough situation, man. Learn from it though, fellas. Just learn from it.
Yeah. All right, main event. We are going to be talking about Ray Lewis versus Shannon Sharpe. And it's not so much a versus, but it's just very out of pocket things for Ray Lewis to be saying about Shannon. Now, Shannon Sharpe, MC, I don't, did you have that video or did you want to just go into the topic
You can just
about,
go. You can go into the one that.
all right. So
Yeah.
we're going to watch a breakdown from Anton from his morning show, and I thought it was a pretty good breakdown on Ray Lewis, and then also we'll get into Shannon Sharpe's response regarding his why Ray Lewis decided to stab him in the back.
Shout out to Anton Daniels for the good content.
For real.
Much before he retired, did he
He
tell me?
been started.
Oh,
And
so you know
PBD.
he's going to be doing that.
Yeah.
So you're not surprised by the success he's having with his podcast and TV and
No.
him and Skip and Stephen A. All that stuff.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm shocked at his content.
Ray Lewis was not asked about Shannon Sharpe's content negativity, his situation, liquor, any of that. Ray Lewis was asked, was Shannon Sharpe prepping for a transition from football over into being a commentator and having his own shows and all of this stuff?
Facts.
And why is he surprised? Or why is he not surprised about his success? That is it. Patrick Bet David did not ask Ray Lewis about any of this stuff that he's volunteering.
Real quick, I was wondering why Patrick Bet David pulled up that question, so I didn't see the whole video. But honestly, I thought he was going to talk about what happened with that chick. But Ray Lewis, went off script and dove into like how Anton is, or not Anton, but how Shannon Sharpe is going a different path. Like I was kind of blown away that Patrick Bet David brought that up though. And either question would have been on the table though, because he played with Ray, he played with Shannon Sharpe, and they have a long history of being good friends. Well, alleged good friends, because after this video, I can't tell.
Yeah, this one's probably going to get a little bit ugly, TR, because they were very close at one point. I don't know how deep you want to go into this clip, but I watched a lot of this because I watch PBD. I get a lot of my news from PBD.
Yeah,
He
well,
does great interviews. But how far do you want to go? Because I want to talk about some stuff Ray Lewis is going to say later.
Yeah, I mean, we'll play the Ray Lewis part and then the Shannon Sharpe part.
Okay, so here's what I'll say. I'm 100% with Anton on this. The question was, were you surprised that his podcast, Club Shay Shay, took off the way that it did? And he said yes, but then he added all of the extras, right? And Ray Lewis knows Shannon Sharpe better than the public does. So now you just unleashed a whole bunch of stuff out there into the atmosphere that might mess up the brand. Case in point, Shannon Sharpe sells the cognac that a lot of people, when they go on Club Shay Shay, they take a shot of it. And most people say it's real smooth and it gets the job done. It's real smooth. It doesn't burn your throat, etc. But now that Ray Lewis is thrown into the atmosphere, I've never seen this dude have a drink. He called out his family history on drinking, and that's why he stayed away from it. So now it turns into, why is somebody who doesn't drink selling the alcohol? Like, that doesn't make sense. So now you're putting like little dents and creases in his armor, and you're messing up the brand. That's not
He's
something
fucking with his money.
That's not something a friend typically does. So I was kind of wondering where all of this is coming from. I wonder if something happened.
This is stuff that
Well, real quick, they had a falling out, and if I have time, I'll try to find the clip. But they had a falling out. There was a big blow up when Shannon was on back at FS Sports, and they were talking about Ray Lewis doing his kneeling or whatever the hell it was, his stage kneeling for Kaepernick. and or for it was for BLM actually, but they had like a blow up because Shannon's on the side of that the owners aren't doing enough, and then Ray Lewis is like, look, what do you want us to do? Like, and I kind of understand what Ray Lewis was coming from, but he should have known better because you know, Ray, you can't win a lot of these dialogue conversations because Skip didn't jump in there, and then I forgot who was moderating, but you know, usually their moderators jump in with their 2 goddamn cents. But ever since then, I feel like that's when they blow up because Ray, he was a frequent contributor on there, and then he stopped showing up after that blow up.
Yeah, and there's definitely some bad blood here. I got another clip I'm gonna share later, but yeah.
Ray Lewis has had in his heart, and he was just looking for a platform. And if somebody even opened up the door to allow for him to have a microphone, he was going to be saying this stuff. When people say, well, he was asked, no, he was not. Ray Lewis was not asked about Shannon Sharpe's decline, downfall, negativity, none of that stuff. The only thing that Ray Lewis was Shannon Sharpe prepping to make the transition? And if Shannon Sharpe, if he's surprised at Shannon Sharpe's success,
Yeah,
that's it.
He couldn't wait to pillow talk.
That is it. That is it. I had to go back. And read the whole world. Because objectively, they were debating and they were arguing, and Shannon Sharpe kicked his butt on the debate show when it came to sports. But when it comes to your own personal life, Ray Lewis didn't make the cut when it came to being
that he didn't want to follow that. And yeah, and then so I kind of started to watch him, and then we kind of went our own separate ways because I'm like, you're going to take that route. I can't go that route.
See?
Never can go that route. And that route is to become so worldly that you become popular because you're talking about ignorance. Right? A lot of times, a lot of these gossip conversations that they're having and bringing up all this stuff, I'm not going to do that to nobody. I'm not in the business for that. I'm in life to try to teach people what does it mean to be a better man or get back to the king.
What? So a Nightcap and well, I guess he might be talking about Club Shay Shay, but at least on Nightcap, don't they just generally talk about sports? They don't really gossip.
No, they got Nightcap got some raunchy stuff on there.
Oh, okay, all right.
He's calmed down since old girl got him for all that money, but
I didn't say.
Yeah, he's talked about past relationships.
Yeah, Gabrielle's too a nigga.
And parenting. Like, there's been some pretty raunchy conversations on Nightcap.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Ray. He is doing this. This is the problem with, like, I think women do this a lot too, but more so men, because even Anton has to go through all this stuff with, like, just people in his chat that subscribe just to talk shit to him. And so the people that, and from, you know, we know we've been following Anton for a while. And so there's been some faces changing, and for whatever reason, what behind the scenes. Anton really doesn't go into detail for a lot of that stuff though. But we see a lot of people crash out after it though. They have a issue with Anton. And these are the people that are supposed to be, you know, friends with and everything. And Anton has a policy that he doesn't, you know, if he knows you personally, whether you fell out or you're good, he doesn't talk about your personal. These are football players. And whenever we've been told about football players, the one thing that we get told is that they have a brotherhood. They have, like, you know, a kinship where, you know, they can always fall back on. And if they need to, like, you know, especially when they played, like, you know, if you need to talk to a friend, you need to talk to, like, someone, you know, brother from another mother, that's who they talk to. They talk about this whole brotherhood thing. Apparently that ain't it. Apparently that lasts for a few years because, like I said, after they were teammates, we all know they were teammates, but after that blow up on the FS1 show on the Undisputed, they ain't been right. And it seems like they never got right, because for him to be speaking on this, it's one thing if you say, like, yeah, I just don't like his career path and leave it at that. Fine. He's messing with Shannon's money. That's the wild part. Like, I don't think we've seen a lot of people that were cool with somebody start fucking with their money. That's a mind-blowing thing.
Here's where it gets complicated for me because Ray Lewis is taking the Christian manhood approach. I call it. He's talking about he's talking about bringing men to the kingdom, not gossiping, teaching men how to be better individuals. He's right technically. Those are all things that I agree with.
Wrong
Those are all things
messenger.
that I try to live by. Is it the wrong messenger though? Because people say stuff like that, but one of the major tenets of Christianity is redemption. Tr, you
Oh
can
yeah.
do something extremely crazy in the past if you truly repented and moved on for it. You're forgiven and you keep it moving. I know people like to bring up what happened to Ray Lewis years ago. Has he done anything since then? Is he out there teaching people and helping them to become better human
Hey,
beings?
if
That's
that
what
was
matters.
if that was a family member of yours and that was in that alley and that white suit disappeared, Ray got away with it. Ray, in the court of public opinion, Ray got away with it.
Did he get
And
away with it, or did they legally say he was innocent?
well, legally it's both. He got away with it
Right.
because
So it's about what can you prove?
it was
They were not
well,
able to
the
prove they
people,
what
the people involved, hold on. The people involved actually testified that Ray had the bloody suit, and they still couldn't convict him. So honestly, I think it was more to do with who Ray was versus what was, because Ray turned on them, they turned on Ray, and they still. I mean, honestly, I think the prosecutor botched the case, but someone still died in that alleyway, and Ray hid evidence. That part you cannot dispute. He hid the evidence that was on that white suit. So there was
a lot of
never
people
any
are trained to do that though.
trained
And
to hide evidence.
it's wrong, but people are trained to do it. Your boy did something, you don't want him to go down, you might take the blame for him. There's a certain rap mogul that's a billionaire right now
Well,
who
no, but
allegedly took
nobody,
a go
no
ahead.
one took a fall. That's the thing. No one was convicted in that case,
Well,
and they
things
all
we're speculating right now, Tr. But let me finish my other point because I'm not taking sides in this. I'm just showing how I can understand where Ray Lewis is coming from, and frankly, I struggle with this at times. I look at it like this: when we talk about other people's situations on this podcast, we're
Mhm.
not doing it to gossip. We're teaching young men. We have a lot of younger men who listen to us. And I always say, take the lessons from this. Don't judge the people. Don't get emotionally attached to the people, but take the lessons from it. And that's what Ray Lewis doesn't understand. I wish when I was younger, I had somebody telling me, hey, choose correctly with you. Some of these women is crazy. You might want to not emotionally attach yourself to politics and do your own. I wish I had people to say stuff like that to me when I was younger. So that's potentially what we do here, and some of the conversations that Club Shay Shay does over there. That's where it gets complicated, right? So
right.
again, this is another nuanced conversation.
Hey, all right, MC. We got to do it live here because
Play that clip I just posted too when you get a chance, because this is something that Shannon Sharpe said that makes it very relevant here.
yeah. Well, Anton covers it too. This is all right. Do you see it?
Yep.
Hold on. All right, because a lot of people have forgotten. Oh, well, I won't say forgotten, but this is how that case went down. Oakley and Sweeting maintained these are the two guys that were with Ray that night. Had acted in self-defense after 5 hours of deliberation. The jury acquitted all of them in June of 2000. The following year, Lewis was, Super Bowl MVP. However, the signature "I'm going to Disney World" was given to Trent Dilfer. He reached a out-of-court settlement with 4-year-old India Lawler, born months after the deaths of her father, preempting a scheduled civil proceeding. Lewis also reached an undisclosed settlement with the Baker's family as well too.
That's a
So,
civil proceeding, Tr, not a legal one.
hey,
Not a criminal one. I mean,
he had to drop some money on this.
right.
So, and I understand like forgiveness, redemption. I get all of that. But Ray can't be the guy talking about redemption when he's out here trying to fuck up Shannon's money. And I'm not saying Shannon's made some mistakes. I'm not saying he's made mistakes like out of the lens of myself. But Shannon himself has probably believed, yeah, That was a bad move. That was a bad move with that chick. That was probably, and then also, I thought, honestly, I think it was a bad move going to leaving undisputed too. But I know a lot of people will fight over that. But this ain't the time for Shannon to, I mean, not Shannon, but Ray to be going out here and using the holy word, God, as a shield against acting like Shannon is the enemy. Shannon is a bad guy. That's not even close to what, like, Shannon's just enjoying the rest of his, later years. Yeah, he lost the bag with ESPN, but he still got his shows, and he's kind of switched up on if he's doing alcohol or he wants to drink alcohol. Maybe he didn't want to drink alcohol because he was a very determined person when it came to playing sports. But when it comes to podcasting and just enjoying the later years, he's allowed to do stuff like that. He's not hurting anybody. Plenty of people sell alcohol. I don't see Ray Ass going out there and trying to condemn everyone else. Ray, I mean, I don't know if Ray even talks about this.
He does that. He does a lot. He does a lot with counseling men and helping men.
He
elevate
condemns,
to the next level.
but he condemns athletes that get into the alcohol space.
I don't know about that part, but what I'm telling you is he does work behind the scenes. That's
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he doesn't and is very adamant, but he's getting out here talk. I mean, just like Anton said it and Patrick Bedved, they weren't asking about his 2 cents on his podcasting and where that direction is going. They were asking, like, did you see him make that transition to get into the podcast and broadcasting, or I mean, his new after football jumping into the broadcasting. And then I guess to some degree, maybe he meant podcasting. He was reading between the lines, but he didn't ask him anything extra about it, though. So that's where I have the issue with why Ray Lewis is really out of pocket on this, and he's putting him in the bad spot, though, because now Shannon, I didn't know about the alcoholism in Shannon's family. You just divulging information like that, I didn't know about that. Why would I ever think about that? Shannon only talks about his brother and his grandma that raised him. So he must be really going into the family history, because that's all Shannon ever brings up. Well, publicly bring up, and maybe he's said some other stuff. I don't really watch Nightcap or the Club Shay Shay like that. But Shannon, for the most part, though, I mean, he's not divulging negative stuff. Like, just imagine, like, how many people should people be bringing up Ray's charge? What happened to him back in, what was this, 2000? Should people be bringing that up? Is that what he's saying?
They still do.
Well, do people bring it up on these popular podcasts? Like, I know some people bring it up, like, in the comments, but anybody goes on PBD,
they will, TR.
Well, they should. They should, if he's opening the door for that.
Yeah.
All right, let me.
And again, for the folks, and I often get misinterpreted. I don't pick sides with 2 people or butting heads that I don't know. I'm just trying to consider the perspectives. That's all. That's it.
All right. Hold on. All right.
This one's tough, man. But Ray was definitely out of pocket for bringing up the drinking and the history in his family. That was out of pocket for sure.
Way out of pocket.
Anything that happened in Baltimore from 2000 and 2001, if I tell it in my story, I can tell it in my story, because I was there when Ray went through what he went through in Atlanta. I was there. I was picking him up from the courthouse. He was living with me in my basement. So if I want to tell my story, right, that I should be able to include that. Anything that happened in Baltimore from.
All right.
So here's why this. I hate when I see 2 good friends fall out.
Are they good friends?
He just said he lived with me when he was going through his situation. You don't just let any person move into your house. You would let, like, a friend or a family member going through something move into your house. That's an act of a friend. I've seen many clips in the past talking about how close they used to be, and it sucks that it went down this way. But I can see why Ray Lewis wanted to distance himself from those type of shows. But again, I could see that Shannon Sharpe has shown himself time and time again to be a good human being. These are just 2 men that's disagreeing, TR. I'm not picking sides in this. I'm trying to see how both perspectives look.
Yeah. This is the clip I was talking about earlier. Well, actually, that's not the clip. Stand corrected. I need the one where they have that fallout. I don't know if I'm able to find it. Oh man, it was a big deal. Do you remember that clip when it happened?
Yo,
All right.
honestly, I didn't even know that they fell out until these conversations started this week.
Yeah, I don't think I could pull the clip up. Hold on. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to pull up in time. I don't want to waste the audience time.
And while you're even doing that, here's the thing: when you start pulling people's, and this is the risk you take when you bring people into your circle. If things fall apart and y'all decide to start airing things out, that kind of eliminates the possibility of you reconciling your friendship. Because now you're airing out family history.
Yeah.
Now you're telling me that I'm doing harm to the community and messing up my brand.
Well, it's Scott's family
rebound from
drunks.
stuff like that.
Yeah. I think this is it.
Basically, is how bad is Joe hurt? Because
now this is all back when the whole Kaepernick thing was going on, and they're talking about the Black Lives Matter, and Ray was trying to kneel with the team. I thought all that stuff was fucking stupid, but you know,
if Joe is higher risk going through, I'm gonna come from the beat of that's the beat, and so going through the whole thing, Shay, I think
Shannon looked like a different man than what we know, how we knew him before, or what we see him now, I guess.
What I'm asking us to do as an organization, and let's make a real decision that what we're gonna do. If we're gonna do it, do it. But if you're gonna do it, make sure we know why we're doing it, and hopefully, it's to win.
Well, listening to Steve talk, if he doesn't think Kaepernick can help them win, what are we discussing? Why are we even having this conversation? We should have. He said it. He's not even giving an opportunity. He says he doesn't believe that Colin Kaepernick can help them win.
He said, "I'm not sure."
So what? So what are we discussing?
And he told me that, but he told me that now, and that's why I want to make
they put Ray in a bad spot in this conversation though, because again, this was the whole BLM thing, and then also should Kaepernick be able to play all that bullshit? Kaepernick didn't want to fucking play. He just wanted to get the spotlight. He just wanted to be able to play on his own terms, but he never really wanted to play. The NFL bent over backwards to give this guy his own fucking training day to look like idiots, and they also had to give him a settlement. Like NFL, what a bunch of candy asses in order for them to do all that shit. But this is when they felt. Well, this is where I believe they fell out.
I think we might have a slight disagreement on Kaepernick too, because I would argue he did want to play, but his problem was this: how many companies have you heard of where you sued them and you won, and then they hired you back after you sued them and won?
Yeah, well, he was disingenuous about really.
As soon as you got to a settlement lawsuit with them, you should have known you were never coming back. That was the criticism I would throw at Cat.
Yep, and he took a undisclosed settlement. So if Kaepernick really had the ammo like everyone believed he did, he would have made that settlement public, or he would have took it all the way through the court, because the NFL, they didn't want this to go. They didn't want to get this information out though, because all the discovery information, they would have to explain that to everybody. So, or show the world what they've been doing behind the scenes. So, and around this time, I think this is when the NFL got rid of fucking Chucky. Who's the dude that was Raiders? The John Gruden. That's when all that stuff around. So once they started looking into this, email stuff and everything, John Gruden, they threw him under the bus with all that email scandal and the Redskins and all that shit. So he got swept up and under all that BS from this Kaepernick thing.
Sure, we're clear here, right?
Right.
There's no.
If
he did
he
this,
got fired.
He did nah, because we both talked about that. That's fine with us.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You happen to be there when they brought Dante Stallworth in. He was driving under the influence and killed a pedestrian. Did Steve talk to fans, sponsors, and you?
Yeah, actually.
So he talked to you on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, when Suggs had his incident with his wife.
Damn, Shannon.
Steve Bisciotti talked to fans, sponsors,
and you.
Talk to me for sure.
Okay. So that's 3 for 3. So Dante's situation.
There's no issue. There's no issue since I was playing that has not been discussed with either me, Steve, me, Ozzy, me, John.
Okay.
It's never changed, and that's what I'm saying. I don't want to give any more merit because of this Colin Kaepernick. You say, oh, why did they call? You know what I'm saying? Nah,
I'm not surprised because I know you're one of the few players that's not a quarterback that's held in regard like teams look at a John Elway, or teams look at a Dan Marino. Where they going, Ray?
This is it. This is it.
So I'm just saying, before you put somebody in a pickle to say
no, I'm not putting him in a pickle, Ray. I'm talking. Okay, let me ask you this: when Pookie shoot,
what's that?
Peanut butter skin, TR. You saw her.
Oh yeah. She looked way different.
Yeah.
Willie, they find Pookie. Where Pookie going? He going to jail. When these police shoot these unarmed black men and women, even on camera, where they going, Ray? Back on the force.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the police brutality. See, what they're trying to do is that when we talk about police brutality, they talk about Chicago, they talk about Detroit, they talk about Baltimore. Okay. You want me to come up with a solution that you helped put me in.
See, Shannon, I don't know if you want to see more of that, but Shannon was a whole different commentator. The Shannon that we see today. He ain't said nothing about Kaepernick. He don't talk about social issues. Well, he doesn't get really, at the level 2 or level 3 on social issues, but he doesn't talk about this stuff anymore. This was just one conversation that split them up for a little bit, because after this clip aired, Ray Lewis never showed up again on Undisputed.
Seems to me like a kind of petty reason to end the friendship, but hey, what do I know?
Well, it made him look bad. That's the thing. It made him look really bad because, again, remember, this is where they all were, all trying to work towards of like trying to call out the NFL, saying the NFL is not doing enough. So if they were, if they were really buds, a real brotherhood, I don't think this is just a regular conversation. And I think Shannon was trying to put the Ravens organization on trial because of the whole Kaepernick thing and the BLM bullshit. I think that was really the issue. And like I said, he never showed up again. So that's where I believe they really fell out. And so we never really seen them together. I mean, he's never been on Club Shay Shay prior to that interview on Patrick Bet David, to my knowledge. So, and he's never been on Nightcap. So there's been a lot of a lot of times where he could have shown up together, or maybe he came back to like a Baltimore Ravens ring of ceremony conversation, but he never did any of that stuff.
All I know is friends / brothers disagree. They fight all the time. They ain't got to be on the same page all the time. This is not this is going to turn into a friendship that ends, it sounds like, because now they're taking personal shots. But yeah, if you're telling me that's the genesis of all of this, TR, I didn't see enough there to end the friendship. I really didn't.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is I believe that's what started it, and because he never showed up again, because he was prior to that conversation, he was a freaking contributor to it, and then he just stopped showing up. So something definitely happened there. Maybe that wasn't maybe nothing happened. Maybe behind the scenes nothing really happened though. But all we can go off of like what's going on with Shannon and Ray Lewis, because Ray Lewis, there's no reason for Ray Lewis to even like have this conversation out loud. Honestly, like he didn't even have to even bring any of this stuff up though, but he decided to like jump in and say like, hey, what's going on here? I'm gonna bring up Shannon's response, because I mean Shannon. I'm gonna play it. Hold on.
Shannon's had a bad year, man. He really has.
I mean, yeah, the whole chick thing, and then losing the ESPN contract, though. I don't even know why ESPN dropped him.
Alleged recording without him knowing, like he's had a tough year.
Oh yeah, that was this year.
Yeah.
I don't even understand. Like I said, I don't even understand why Shannon, why ESPN dropped him though, because they didn't have to.
Yeah, that was kind of silly on their part, but I mean,
And also,
it was
it was undisclosed too.
I got nothing bad to say because a lot of things when you tolerate it, I'm gonna go ahead and say my thing. Whatever transpired, I'll bite my tongue. I'll be the bigger person. I'll walk away. Hey, you right? Because you know why, Ocho? It's low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
You know how I know? Because your boy, you looking at him, he low hanging fruit. And there are a lot of people taking your shot at your boy.
Come on now.
Y'all can have it. Y'all got it. Y'all got me.
Cheers.
It's all right.
Yeah.
That's the approach you can take.
It's okay. We're gonna be all right, OJ.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing too. Shannon, he called out your family. He mentioned the alcoholism in your family. What if that person that he was referring to was like his sister or an auntie of his? Like that's kind of like a big deal. And then I mean, I guess fuck HIPAA violations or whatever. I mean, I guess he didn't say who it was, but he just mentioned it. But and then he fucking with your alcohol money. Shannon to take the high road. See, we'll probably differ on this. I don't think Shannon should have took the high road. I think Shannon should have flamed him up because he did things that was against your family. He was talking about you and your family and your money. So taking the high road, there's nothing to be gained. But he needs to make sure that, hey, we didn't say anything about the white suit. We didn't say anything about the kids. I mean, I think he has 2 baby mamas or whatever it is. But the point is, he's not married to one of his kids' moms. We didn't say like how you were pretending to be a woke activist during the BLM conversations. He could have said a lot of things. He chose a high road. I don't think he should have chose a high road. I think he should have said a couple things that, hey, to make sure Ray need to walk out of this conversation that there is no coming back. Because when you get into this business with Shannon, where he's at, anyone taking shots at you, I mean, I don't want him to beef, but he needs to make sure that if he's going to address it publicly, then he needs to like make sure that Ray knows that he is not the person to be messing with. That's my opinion. I mean, you can take the high road, and I don't like people beefing because you never know when it's going to end. But he took a lot of personal shots at him, and that could mess up his money. I mean, shit. What if the alcohol? Well, I guess the alcohol brand is his, but that can deter other people from wanting to, want to do business with him. They're like, man, you got another thing coming out. Like, what more? What more is going to be there? Like, you just got past 2 issues. Now we got a 3rd issue. Fuck.
Look, man, I'm going to stand on what I said. He did the right thing. You took a lot of L's this year. Just build your brand back up. Yeah, he said his piece. You said yours. Keep it moving, man. Ain't no reason to having 2 grown men going back and forth repeatedly about the same thing. This is good.
Yeah. I was also surprised by Ocho.
Ocho still has 4 million subs, by the way, so he's fine. He'll be all right. He'll be all right.
Yeah, you can be all right, but this man's talking about your family. That's where I have the problem with. That's where, I mean, I know he's taking a high road here. Maybe they told him to take the high road so so he wouldn't get in trouble with any other sponsors, I guess. But it's a wild thing when you get into the whole podcasting thing, man. Or when you start elevating beyond your friends, when you're moving in a direction that they're not moving. So. That's wild.
Yeah, no doubt. Good luck, fellas. I hope y'all work that out, but more than likely y'all won't.
I hope they don't work it out and fucking Shannon Sharpe really tells the world how he really feels about Ray Lewis. Fuck him. But anyways, time to end the show.
Man, tell him how you really feel.
No, fuck him, because he's a fake activist. He's a fake dude. I know he's done a lot of good things.
Both activists are fake.
No.
They make money off of black pain, and they pretend to care, and they don't.
And they make a lot of money pretending to be the man of the cloth as well too. We know a lot of we've seen people make money off of like, hey, I'm really helping you, and you're really not. So
And all these fake activists, activate yourself. How about that? Instead of depending on somebody else. That's
yeah, and Shannon, he's still on bag fumble and simp of the year. So it's not like that he got a free pass off of this.
Oh, we got to do simp of the year awards in December. We got to make a note to do that.
Yeah, simp or a bag fumble. And he's in top 3 on those. So, anyways, that is going to be the end of the show. Any final words, MC?
Now we back again. Your boy was working security at the Arizona Black Rodeo. It was a dope and amazing event. I highly recommend it. I hope y'all had a great Labor Day. We are back and we're gonna start cooking. We're gonna experiment with different formats and stuff coming up too.
Indeed. All right, everyone. Have a good night.
Peace.